I'm Bear Grylls, and today we're going to look at some of the top survival movies and figure out just how realistic they are. So in this clip from The Revenant, Leo survives by gutting a dead horse and sleeping inside it. This brings back good memories. But the thing is, it totally works. I mean, I've done that in the Sahara with a camel. This Berber tribesman said to me, he said that he'd once survived a sandstorm by sheltering inside the carcass of a dead camel. So we had this camel that had died, and I said, this is a perfect chance to show that you can do this. And the crew kind of looked at me like, really? But I gutted it and got inside it and took the skin off as well and used that as like a blanket. And I wake me up, and I was on Lariam at the time, which is anti-malarial, which gives you pretty weird dreams. I had a dream that the camel had come back to life, and I was like, then I woke up inside this thing and I was like really freaked out. But hey, look, good for him. You know, survival is all about doing the unimaginable and the difficult. Number one priority in the wild is always protection, whether that's from, you know, wild animals or from the weather in this case. And him getting inside that got him out of the cold, got him out of the wind, and saved his life. So doing the unimaginable, doing the difficult, and number one priority, protection. Good for Leo. So this is Castaway, Tom Hanks, surviving by doing the difficult thing with no experience and very little equipment of trying to light a fire. You know, one of my favourite bits about this clip is the sweat that is dripping off his nose and puts the fire out. I've got quite a big nose, and I always have had so many times the same problem where you're over and you're really working it and the sweat's pouring off, and I've just got an ember and a bit of sweat have just gone straight in and put it out. But hey, listen, making fire is hard with nothing, and it's about one thing: persistence. And you know, you always see it on TV and it takes 30 seconds, but in reality I've spent over 12 hours before trying to make a fire. And it's especially hard on your own because, you know, essentially you're trying to create heat through friction, and doing that alone is really hard. But this was an iconic clip, and as I said, I know this one so well, and it was filmed really well, accurate, and once you have it going, it changed everything for him. You know, protection from wildlife, and for signalling, and for warmth, and for boiling water, and for making tools and everything. The fire is the heart of it all. So well done, Tom. So this clip is from iconic, one of my favourite films. Listen, Point Break, when Utah jumps out of the plane with no parachute and eventually catches up with Bodhi, and you know the rest. Here you go. I mean, listen, guys, this is legendary. These are iconic moments, you know. And the thing is, sometimes you got to suspend a little bit of realism. But he's getting low. We're on about 2 minutes. It's the highest free fall.
Now you pull it. Go ahead, Johnny, pull it. You gotta drop the gun, right?
You could wrap your legs through and your arms through some chest straps and stuff and hold on, and actually that has been done. I mean, the thing is, I speak from experience as well. I broke my back in a free fall parachuting accident whilst I was serving in the British Special Forces. A canopy just went really bad when I deployed it, and I know that feeling of sort of falling and the raw terror of, you know, it's not quite right. And it's totally a situation where you could pull, the pilot comes out, it's starting to furl open, and you hit the ground, and it would probably save your life. But we're talking tenths of a second one way or the other between dying and not. But hey, it's a great moment in the film, and the bit that is a suspension of reality is the time frame. Your normal free fall from 12,000 feet, it's over in, you know, 30 seconds. So he would have to be at the edge of space for this one to work. But the great thing about it is we all grew up on this movie, and you watch it, and I never once as a kid questioned that. I just go, this is epic. So this clip is from the film Everest, when Rob Hall is up there in horrific conditions and is dying on the mountain.
God, stop shaking, man.
I not only know this scene from this film well, I know that situation well, and I was on Everest a couple of years after Rob died up there. I actually saw Rob up there you know, when we climbed it, pretty well, perfectly preserved. You know, he was so close, and I knew that story so well, and I just had to crawl and move away from him and finish this and get up and get down and stay alive. But it was a very hard, powerful moment seeing him there. But I watched this film and wept throughout it, if I'm honest. I really did. I'd never seen it so realistically and beautifully told. So this clip is from Titanic, when they are in the water, ship's gone down, and they are in a bad, cold situation.
It's so cold! Swim rope!
Okay, so this is another situation that I've experienced many times, of being truly, truly cold and icy cold water. And again, this is really realistically done, of just how sapping and how fast it can happen. You know, I've had to cross freezing cold rivers in Siberia in winter and swim frozen lakes and under the ice and you name it, and the cold robs you of your senses and your abilities, and you can't move your fingers and you can't move your hands and then your arms, and you can't think or concentrate, and everything goes backwards, and you can't, you know, and it's a very hard thing to fight. You know, I think it was pretty realistically told, really. You know, I mean, maybe the reality is that they would have both died faster and quicker. In that sort of temperature and water, without survival equipment and with normal clothes, you're going to be unable to speak or even function within 10 to 15 minutes, you know, and you're going to be dead pretty soon after. So survival time in cold water is low. Be careful. So this is a great clip from Crocodile Dundee, where Linda is going down to fill her water bottle at the Billabong, and she thinks all is good, but all ain't good. So guys, this is an epic moment, you know, and who hasn't leapt out of their seat in the cinema watching this one? The thing, it's very, very hard to get a knife through crocodile. There is a little bit gap between the skull and the rest of the body where you can get it in, but I've had it before I remember we're taking Drew Brees on an expedition into the jungle once, and we came across this croc, and it was definitely not as big as that one, because you wouldn't manage it for real in a saltwater crocodile that big. That was the unrealistic bit. But I've had it before where we've got on the top of it, and Drew was across it, and I was there, and we had the knife out, and I'm saying to Drew, just drive it down, and we're pushing it on, and he can't get it in, and you know, and eventually I just grab this rock, and the croc's spinning around. I grab the rock, and Drew's got his hand on the knife, and I bash the rock on top of the knife, and in it goes, and that's the end of the croc. Afterwards, Drew goes, "Do you know how much my hand is insured for?" And the NFL don't even know I'm here in the jungle with you. I go, "Sorry, I wasn't thinking about that at the time. I was just trying to get this knife in the croc." He goes, "You nailed it. You hit the knife, but an inch either way, that would have been my hand gone." But the thing is, you've got to be really, really careful of saltwater crocodiles. You know, you only get that one wrong once. But hey, Croc Dundee, he nailed it. Good for him. He acted fast and he put the knife into the correct place. This is a clip from Bird Box, where Sandra Bullock trying to cross a river blindfolded. Never underestimate the power of white moving water. So I haven't seen this clip, so this is oh, they're in a boat. This is okay. Although blindfolded in the rapid. Although the thing about rapids, you do want to kind of follow the power of the main flow, the tongue of the middle. So sometimes the less you do, the better, in a way. So maybe blindfolded. Oh, it's just still sketchy. This is really sketchy. Well, that was predictable, wasn't it? You know, listen, do not get into... First of all, do not get into whitewater rapids that big without the right equipment, without the right training experience, and with no backup. A boat like that's a disaster for a starter. That's even before you're blindfolded. So that, to me, was a recipe for disaster, truly. And I think the truth is Sandra Bullock would be toast. So in this clip, Michael from The Office attempts to survive in the wild with nothing but a knife, some duct tape, and his sense of humour.
In case I need to fashion a shelter or make some sort of water vessel.
Do you know what? I bet he had a laugh filming this, don't you?
Well, if you take a look at this, I tented my pants.
I tented my pants. I gotta use that line.
Shelter. And this little guy may be Dunder Mifflin paper someday.
Well, first of all, he's thinking like a survivor. He's being resourceful. He's already thinking about the tree's going to end up as paper. His pants are his shelter. He's got a big smile on his face. He's got bags of positivity. Those are key traits in a survivor. Although how good that shelter was, we didn't get the wide shot of that, did we? I think there might be a little bit of, shelter's got to protect you from wind, rain, storms. Michael's pants. But for spirit, ingenuity, and positivity, full marks. So we've seen a bunch of clips from Hollywood's depiction of survival scenarios, and actually the clips we picked, these are pretty good ones, they've been well done, but ultimately survival is all about this: heart, spirit, never giving up, and I think they had that.